Yay!
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, but we're here. All
Okay,
right,
now we're leaving.
Sir, please.
Come on, you're not a good boy like you were last night.
Oh, don't say that.
Come on, Minnie.
Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Nancy Cowden and Thrifty Babe. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! All right, I'm going to be real with you guys. Today's update is very short. It is very short. But thank you for being here. It's still going to be fun, right? We're still going to have a little fun with it. But I want to thank all of our super chatters from yesterday before we get going. So we've got Sheena123, Dawn MH302, Julie Morris, S. Dean, Janine Honberger, Richard Fleming, Shane Shaji, Tracy C., Ashley Barnett, and The Real VB. Thank you all so much. We could not make this happen without your support. So thank you again. All right. Here we go. When we left off yesterday, Cody won the power veto, the final power veto of the season. Whoa. So it sounds like it included days and like a physical element. So all of the studying that everybody's been doing has really paid off. I mean, mostly for Cody, but it sounds like maybe they had some sort of like a giant hamster wheel or something for each of them, or like something like that. I think Enzo called it like a hamster hole. I don't know, or a gerbil hole. But anyway, it sounded like Big Brother would give them some sort of event, and they had to figure out what day that happened on, and then they had to use the wheel or whatever it was that they were using to lock in their answer. And it was kind of like, I remember, I want to say it was season 16 when they had like that punching one and they had to punch the different targets. And like one of the targets was for 1 day, one was for 5 days, and one of them like went backwards or whatever. So yeah, they had to get the correct number. And apparently it was really difficult to go backwards if you went over the correct number. But yeah, it sounds like also the last person to lock in their answer for every round got a strike, and I'm assuming 3 strikes and you're out, right? They've done something like that before. So it sounds legit. It sounds like that could be what it was. But anyway, yeah, Cody with this win has already locked in his spot in the final 3. And like, he might have just won the whole entire season, but we'll see. And he and Enzo both went the whole season without being nominated. That's a pretty big deal. It's a big deal for one person to do it, but for 2 people that are working together to do it, that's wild. So Cody has already told Nicole that he's going to bring her to the final 3, and it's not looking good for Christmas. It's going to be interesting to see her try and campaign to Cody. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to work, but I don't know what she's going to bring to the table. But Enzo also wants Nicole out. He would rather go to the final 3 with Christmas because Christmas is way more likely to take him to the final 2 than Nicole would be. But I feel like whoever, like if anybody besides Cody wins that final HOH and like had the guts to cut him, I think they would win the whole thing. But I don't see Enzo or Nicole cutting Cody like that. Okay, so anyway, how hard is Enzo going to push? I feel like he may just accept it and be like, there's no way that Cody is going to flip on Nicole, so I should just like move on with my life. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. You know, he made a little bit of a push before the POV, and now I'm thinking he's probably not going to try too hard. Okay, so Cody and Enzo were in the HOH room last night, and they are pumped up about Cody's win. Let's go. So Enzo says Christmas is going to bug the shit out of Cody this week. And Cody says, nah. Apparently she already said something to Nicole about Nicole having a better chance to stay than her. And Enzo says she's going to try though. And Cody's like, what is Christmas going to say? I almost want to be like, here's Cody Big Talks. I almost want to be like, Christmas, you tried to get me on the block 2 weeks in a row, but I can't say that. Why not? Why can't you say it? We're in the final 4. Just do it. But Cody says he can't say that because he would be dogging Enzo by doing that. And Christmas would be upset with Enzo because this was not information that Cody was supposed to know about. So Cody says, if me and you are sitting next to each other in the final 2, I don't want Christmas to be like, F Enzo. I want us to both have a fair shot. Do you know where you are? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what game you're playing? Honestly, though, like if Cody's in the final 2, he's going to win. So he doesn't have to do a damn thing at this point. But anyway, yeah, Enzo says, let's just go to the end and tell everyone to vote for whoever the F they want to vote for. That's it. Okay. So then they talk about the final HOH comp. Traditionally, it is done in 3 parts. And they would like to win. Well, I mean, this is what they're saying to each other anyway. I think Cody might say things a little bit differently to Nicole. He was saying the same things to Nicole. So yeah. They're saying they want to win the first 2 parts, have one of them win one each, and then they can face off in part 3 and just kind of relax because they'd both be taking each other to the final 2. Would they though? Would Cody take Enzo to the end? I don't know. I really don't know who Cody would pick between Enzo and Nicole. I think he would beat both of them, but I think he'd probably have an easier time beating Enzo than he would Nicole. Because Nicole does have that factor of being a former winner and making it all the way to the end again. I don't know. And also the jury doesn't really seem to respect Enzo's like laid back gameplay. But anyway, Cody says part 1 is usually endurance. Part 2 is something elaborate but simple. Elaborate but simple? What? I kind of get what he's saying because a lot of times it'll be something like physically elaborate. Like they have to like climb this ladder and place all these tiles or whatever, and all they're doing is putting in order like who the POV winners were or something like that. So like mentally it might not be that difficult, but physically it might be elaborate. It just sounded really funny when he said it. And then part 3 is usually questions. Sometimes it's what do you think that this juror said? And then other times it's actually like, we're going to do a really hard quiz right now on the different days and events. So I don't know which one they're going to do, but we'll see. So then Enzo says, we could put on the greatest show of all time in this house with me and you never going on the block. No one's ever going to beat that. I mean, yeah, it was like good gameplay, but it was like super boring. I wouldn't say it was the greatest show of all time. So Enzo is hoping that Christmas will leave Monday or Tuesday. Like, let's just make this a quick week. Let's get going here and let's get into these final HOH competitions. And in the past, they've had the 4th place person leave not on Thursday. It doesn't seem like they're doing that this year, though. It seems like Christmas or Nicole, but Christmas will be leaving on Thursday. So it's going to be a long week. So then the feeds went down for like half an hour, but when they came back, Enzo and Cody were still chatting and they were talking about the final 2. And Enzo says, Nicole knows the deal. She knows that I'm not taking her to the end. And she pretty much knows that you're not taking her either. Are you sure about that now? Like, who would Cody pick? That's like one of the last few big remaining questions here. Who would Cody take if he won the final HOH comp? So Cody says, yeah, Nicole, she knows that she has to win out and pick who she would want to take. Nobody else is going to take her. So Cody says, the only person that I think is taking me to the end is you. Again, really? I think that Nicole would probably take Cody to the end, but if she, again, were to cut Cody, I think she would definitely win against Enzo. So Cody says, if you don't take me to the end, I'll kick your knees on my way out. Just kidding. But really. So then Enzo's like, why would I take Nicole? I would lose against her. I feel like Enzo would lose either way, though. Unless he were to win the final HOH and cut Cody, then I think he could possibly beat Nicole if he were to make a big move like that. But I just don't see him doing it. So Enzo says Nicole would have votes from Danny, Davon, Kevin, and Ian right off the bat. She was like pretty close with them or whatever. He says, she'll beat me, yo. I'd rather take my chances with you. And I feel like in a way, Enzo was also saying that to make Cody think like, I can't go up against Nicole if she's going to have all those people. How awkward would that be if it was Cody and Nicole in the final two, and like, who would Danny vote for? One of her BFFs, Nicole, or Cody? I think she'd vote for Cody. But anyway, it'd be interesting to see what would happen there. So Enzo says, if we just win these next two competitions, it's over. That's it. All right. So then a few minutes later, Cody calls Nicole in. She comes in. She's like, Final Four, baby. And Cody says, yeah, core 4. Oh, sorry. I meant Final 3. She says, Final 3, baby. And he says, core 4. 3 out of 4 made it to the end. They're just missing Danny. And Cody's like, how mad is Danny going to be that we made it to the end without her? I think she'll be pretty upset about that. I think she'll be pretty pissed and maybe a little bitter. But yeah, they were talking about how Christmas is doing better now. That's good. I have to say, she's in a much better place now than she was after the nominations, because that day was just like, whoa. But she's a lot more positive and upbeat now. She's spending time with everyone else. I feel like she just had like one of those really bad days when like everything is coming down on you, and then you just kind of like cry it out and sleep it out. And now she seems to be doing a lot better. So that's good. But a little later, Enzo was alone in the HOH room with Mulan, and he told her, yes, Cody won. That's a good thing Cody won. He says, that puts more of a target on Cody. And maybe now Nicole takes us to the final two. He's talking about him and Mulan. That was pretty funny. So then he's like, it's not a bad thing. Trust me. Maybe this will scare Nicole even more so that she won't take Cody to the end now, because he's got all these competition wins. So he says in 11 days, we're going to find out. That's it. So then he asks, do you want to come back to New Jersey with me or no? He says, it's not that bad, Jersey. Don't got that much grass, but I've got 2 kids that'll probably love you if you want to come back. And he says, we have 11 days, yo. Think about it. That was hilarious. It was actually really funny. So then the rest of the night was not as funny. No, it was okay. Game-wise, nothing. But everyone was hanging out. They were in good spirits, waxing each other's eyebrows, playing improv games. So they were just having a good time. And then today, they've been sleeping. They just woke up like not that long ago. So they haven't really done anything yet. I don't know if Christmas is going to campaign at all today. We'll see what happens. But it's not like the nominations, the POV ceremony is going to be tomorrow anyway. They're just going to do that during the eviction show. So we'll see what happens. Isn't that usually how they do it? Don't they just do the veto ceremony during the eviction show? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. But that's all I got. That's where we're at. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I want to thank today's super chatters because you guys are amazing. Hello and welcome. Bowie. Susie Loy, thank you so much. You are so sweet and we really appreciate it. And Vajra, thank you so much. And they asked, has there ever been a season of reality TV so frustrating that you ended up rage quitting in the middle of it? That's a really great question. Excuse me. Sir, Bowie's going like this. I have this thing where when I start something, I feel like I have to finish it. Like a book, a TV show, a movie. If I commit to covering a TV show, I feel like I have to do it. I don't feel like we've quit anything like in the middle of it. I mean, we used to cover a lot of other shows, but we always finish the season out. We don't just quit in the middle of it. Like The Bachelor, we used to cover that. We don't cover it anymore. Like Hell's Kitchen and all those shows.
We quit the series, but not the...
Did we cover Hell's Kitchen or did we just watch it?
No, we covered it.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
That feels like so long ago.
It was.
Yeah. And then there's some shows that we don't cover anymore just because we don't have time, but we still enjoy watching them. Like Dancing with the Stars, still love it. Still watch it, but we don't cover it anymore. Bless you.
Thank you.
Amazing Race. We love it. We watch it, but we don't cover it anymore because we got too many other things going on. But bless you.
Oh my God.
There have been shows that we were covering and then they got canceled mid-season, like Utopia.
Yeah.
We were covering Utopia and then it was over, which was probably a good thing.
I guess they had to make a brand new start.
It was a mess. But yeah, thank you so much for your question and for the support. All right, so that's where we are, guys. I don't want to keep you hanging too long today because I know it's a beautiful fall day here at least. And
we're going to go fly a kite.
We're actually literally going to go and try and fly some kites in the park. So, yay.
Oh, the puppet show will be up this evening.
The puppet show will be up this evening.
Still have about an hour's worth of work on it.
Yeah. I think how is it so far?
It has potential.
Okay. I think there's going to be some funny
moments. You know I don't like to oversell it.
I know. Bowie? No, we're not going to Granny's house today because we saw her yesterday at a family party, and it's a lot for her to do more than one day in a weekend. Yeah, it's a lot for all of us. So, yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow. So until then, much love and thank you again for being here.